This is the sound of my new favorite horror movie. Do you hear that? That's the sound of terror? Ben had one rule for his apartment. No electronics in the bedroom. This was so he could get a good night's sleep. But he'd been working long hours at the hospital, and this morning he fell asleep in his chair. Now he was jolted awake by the shrill ring of his phone alarm. He hadn't set it, but it was definitely going off. He switched it off and tried to go back to sleep. But now his mind was racing. Did someone hack into his phone? Is someone stalking him? Suddenly, the clock flashed an unfamiliar time on the screen. For 17 a.m. Why was his phone alarm going off in the middle of the night? It was probably just a glitch, he told himself. Trying to convince himself, he checked the time again. Still, for 17 a.m., the clock was not connected to the internet or a cell tower. He'd made sure of it. So why was the time correct? He opened the clock app and checked the alarm settings. Nothing was turned on. This was the second time this week it had happened, but the first time it was just 2 minutes past midnight. He couldn't remember turning that off either. There were no other alarms set, and the ones that were supposed to go off in the morning were UNT on either. The only alarm that should have been going off right now was the one he set for 6:45 a.m. every morning, and it did. Every day when he woke up, he hit snooze, then got out of bed to turn it off properly. For some reason today, he didn't. And this was the result. He wasn't usually such a space cadet, not since high school. At least back then, he was so forgetful they'd nicknamed him Space Cadet Ben. Luckily, his grades were good enough that he still graduated top of his class, despite being perpetually absent-minded. His grades didn't help his love life much though. He never remembered anniversaries or birthdays. And if he did, he forgot what he was supposed to be getting for them. He once showed up to his first date with his mom because he forgot to take his dad's car keys back. Thankfully, his date found it all pretty hilarious. And after 8 years together, she still laughed at his jokes, even the really bad ones. But recently, she'd been acting weird, distant. He didn't know why. They had no fights or anything. She just seemed upset sometimes, like there was something on her mind. But whenever he asked her about it, she would just change the subject. And that was why he was sitting in his living room watching TV last night instead of sleeping in his bedroom. He wanted to clear his head, sort out his thoughts before talking to his girlfriend about it. But now his mind was racing with new thoughts. Was someone hacking into his phone? Was someone stalking him? Why did his alarm go off at 4:17 a.m.? After failing to go back to sleep, he decided to just get up. But as he stood up, he noticed a shadow on his wall. What was that? Was there someone in his apartment? He quickly searched the place, but it was empty. Ben was alone. He didn't want to scare his girlfriend, so he didn't tell her about the shadow or the phone. And it didn't happen again, at least not until this morning. Now that the sun was up, Ben started to feel ridiculous. A shadow in the middle of the night and a phone alarm that turned itself on. What was he? 5 years old. Of course, there was a reasonable explanation. There always was. Stop being paranoid, Ben. But then he saw the notification from this morning. It read, "They're outside your window." He hadn't seen it before because he'd been asleep. He wasn't sure how he missed it. It was huge, big red letters. Who sent it and why? Ben looked out the window. It was 6:45 a.m. Perfect time to start work. Perfect time for someone to climb into his apartment without him seeing them. The windows were all closed and locked. The only way someone could have gotten in was through the balcony door. But that was also locked from the inside, and he was sure he heard the deadbolt click into place when he locked it last night. How could anyone get in if the door was locked? As if to answer his question, the balcony door slowly started to open. Panic shot through him. How was that possible? He watched helplessly as the door swung inward. Standing in the doorway was a man. He was tall and lean, with messy black hair and sharp gray eyes. "Do you know me?" the man asked. Ben shook his head. "Then, let me introduce myself. My name is James Bond." Ben stared at him, dumbfounded. "I said, do you know me?" Ben finally found his voice. "No, I don't know you. Who are you?" Bond smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "That's okay. We don't need to know each other. All I need is your phone." Why does he want my phone? Ben thought. Is it because I have something on it that's useful to him? Is he hacking into it? Is that why he needs it? Bond took a step into the apartment. "I won't hurt you," he said. "I just need your phone." Ben stayed rooted to the spot. Bond took another step forward and then another. "Please," Ben whispered. "Give me your phone." Okay, Ben stammered. "I'll give you my phone, but stay away from me." As Ben reached for his phone, Bond stopped. "Stay away from you," Ben repeated, his voice louder this time. "What?" Bond frowned. "Nothing. I'm sorry. You've startled me. I didn't mean to startle you. I just wanted to ask you something." "What is it? Why did you call me James Bond?" "James Bond?" Ben echoed. "Why would I call you that?" "You did. You called me on my cell phone last night at 2:30 a.m. "I did not." "Oh, you're playing games with me now." Bond's voice had taken on a dangerous edge. Ben could see veins pulsing on his forehead. "I don't know what you're talking about." Ben lied. Bond didn't believe him. He knew Ben was lying. But what choice did he have? He needed Ben's phone. And here we go. Folks, another terrifying situation that might have been avoided if the character had simply invested in a smart lock? Just saying. Anyway, back to the story. Bond knew he'd find the answer he was looking for on Ben's phone. It was worth a try, anyway. He reached out and grabbed Ben's phone. The moment his fingers brushed against Ben's skin, a chill ran down his spine. It was like touching ice. What was going on? Bond stepped back, his eyes fixed on Ben. Suddenly, the phone in his hand started to glow red. A voice boomed in the room. Intruder detected. Commencing Operation Red Eye. Bond's heart skipped a beat. Operation Red Eye. The contingency plan, it was supposed to activate if someone ever touched him. But how? How did the phone know it was happening? He looked at Ben, who was staring back at him with wide, frightened eyes. The phone slipped from Bond's numb fingers and crashed to the floor, shattering into pieces. "Stop it," Bond whispered urgently, realizing too late that he'd made a terrible mistake. He never should have taken the job. Now it was too late. The game was on. And if he didn't win, he might just die. Well, folks, looks like our boy Bond got himself into quite the pickle this time. What'll he do now? Well, if you're eager to find out, I've got some good news for you. The next chapter is already available to subscribers. So if you're a subscriber, be sure to check it out. And if you're not, well, I guess you'll just have to subscribe to find out what happens next. If you liked this video, please consider leaving a like and comment below to let me know what you think. Your feedback is very important to me and helps me make better videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming stories. Until next time, happy reading.